I was a good man. Once. I cared about the suffering of others as if it were my own. Once. I was happily blind by the lies of humanity. I thought the human race was righteous, full of promise and hope. I wanted to help the suffering, the sick, the dying. That's why I became a doctor. To save the human lives that I cared for so dearly. I was a loving husband to a beautiful wife. And a caring father to a beautiful little girl. I became a surgeon of remarkable skill and precision, making the world a better place in my eyes. That was until I came face to face with the truth of humanity that we all hide. I arrived home one night after a double shift to see my front door in splinters and my house a mess. I feared for my family and began to call out frantically for my wife and child. As I made my way upstairs, I was horrified to see the walls and floors painted in a spray of blood. I feared the worst as I tore through the rooms looking for my family, praying that they would still be alive. I found my wife lying dead on our bed. She was mutilated and dismembered. I fell to my knees, unable to grasp what it was I was seeing. The world of my mind, my world was shaken to its very core as I stared down at the blood-stained carpet, as the blood soaked into the knees of my clothes. It was then that I heard it. A distant cry. I quickly made my way to the window to see a man running down the alley, holding my daughter. I grabbed the gun I kept in the nightstand. I ran down the stairs and out the door. I was going to kill the monster that destroyed my family, destroyed my world. I caught up with him at the park. I pulled the gun and shouted, "Let go of my daughter!" I pulled the trigger and shot a round into his back shoulder. He grunted and hit the ground, still keeping a hold of my daughter. He spins to face me, putting a blade against her throat. It was then that I saw his face. I saw who he was. The man was one of my patients. A man whose botched suicide attempt by putting a pistol under his chin left his face scarred and deformed from the bottom of his chin to his left cheek. I saved his life, and in return, he robbed me of mine. You... Why? I stood there frozen with my revolver fixed on him. I watched as his face formed a disgusting smile as he laughed softly, keeping his knife against my daughter's throat.
Because I need to show you the truth. You were living a lie. I saved you.
You butchered my wife!
I butchered a whore. She's been passed around more than a pack of gum. How certain are you that this little darling is even your daughter?
Why are you doing this to me? He laughed.
I'm doing this for you. I'm peeling the lies away one by one so you can see what the world for what it truly is. Have you ever looked in a mirror? I mean, really looked? Humanity is a disease. It is a parasite that will destroy and devour everything that comes in their path. We're all monsters, but we hide behind our smiles and russes, pretending to be good, upstanding people. But the truth is, we're not. No, not in the least. I learned the truth, which was why I thought I need to kill myself. But I was wrong. That was why you saved me, because you wanted me to save you.
You're not making any sense. Please, just let my daughter go. She hasn't done anything. He looked down at my little girl, frozen in fear, then looked back at me.
That is very true. She is innocent, and that's how she'll remain, because I'm gonna make sure she doesn't end up like her whore mommy.
I paused for a moment, unsure of what to say. How? He never answered. He just looked me dead in the eyes. His eyes were cold and lifeless. The smile on his face chilled my blood. Then, without breaking eye contact, he quickly slid the blade against her throat, spilling her blood. No! In reflex, I pulled the trigger, firing a round straight through his throat, sending him flying back, finally letting go of my daughter. I run to her, scooping her up in my arms, only to find that I was too late. She was dead. Then I could hear a faint, gurgling laugh as I turned to face the man that killed my family. He laid there, holding his throat with a smile on his face as blood oozed from his mouth and neck.
See, you will finally see what the world truly is now. We all deserve this. We all need to die.
He died, chuckling and choking on his blood. I picked up my daughter's lifeless body, holding her in my arms as I slowly made my way home. I arrived home to see the red and blue flashing lights of the police cars, and once I came into view, I was their prime suspect. I stood there covered in blood, holding my daughter's body in my arms. They were already thinking whether I'd get life in prison or the death penalty. But after hours of grueling interrogation and alibi checking, I was cleared of suspicion. I saw my daughter, and what was left of my wife, for the last time that night. I couldn't get what he said out of my head.
How certain are you that this little darling is even your daughter?
In the late hours of the night, I went back to the hospital to the lab. I tested my daughter's blood from my shirt with my own. I felt the last shred of my world crumbling away as I saw the results. She wasn't my daughter. He was right. I treated her like my everything. Her and her mother. They were my whole world, my whole life, only to find that everything I believed to be true was a lie. All the nights she told me she loved me, told me I was her everything. She was spending her days with other men whispering the same sweet nothings. I suddenly felt something in me snap. I felt a darkness grip my soul. I finally understood what he was trying to tell me, what he was doing to me. I started throwing everything against the wall on the floor, angry at how blind I was. I pushed myself against the corner of the room and sank down to the floor. I gripped my face as tears continued to flow. He was delivering me from the lies and falsehoods I surrounded myself with, living in ignorance. I spent so much of my life choosing to believe the lies and bullshit without even a fight. This world isn't made from good and bad. It's all rotten and sickening. The people that look at you and smile are just as twisted and dark as the rapists and murderers. Though children may be innocent, all too soon they become as corrupt and despicable as the rest of this rotted world. Killing her was the only thing he could do to save her from becoming just like the rest of the world. He saved her just like he saved me. I stood up and made my way past the mess and out the door. In the dark of night, I walked down those shadowed halls. I can feel my body leading me somewhere. With every step, my mind thought of what I was about to do, and how it was the right and only choice. Being so late at night, most of the staff was either napping at their desks or watching TV in the lobby. I wouldn't have to worry about being stopped. That's what they would want to do. They won't understand what I'm about to do, because they're all monsters. I found myself at the entrance of the children's ward. At that moment, I felt no hate, no rage, just a clarity of truth, an abnormal calmness as I crept into the room. They all looked so peaceful and serene as they slept, unaware of the monsters they were going to grow up to be. I brandished my scalpel. I was going to ensure that they would never change, that they would stay innocent and good. I was quick, using the skills that made me such an excellent surgeon. I slit the blade across their throats. They never had a chance to make a sound before they were all gone. I couldn't help but smile as I looked down at my blood-stained hands. Then without warning, the fire alarm rang out. I turned to see the night pediatrician standing in the doorway with his hands resting on the fire alarm switch. I smile. Don't worry. They're all better now. You're a monster. I had a dark pleasure rise up in me as I began to laugh. Yes. I am a monster. I felt as though a weight had been lifted. As I said those words, the mask of hypocrisy I've worn for so long fell away at that moment, and I was finally able to embrace the true human nature. Yes, I am just as twisted and corrupt as you are, but now I know who I am, and I no longer lie to myself into the world, pretending to be an angel, when I am nothing more than a devil. I look at my scalp covered in blood.
You're a psychopath.
I was blind, but now I see the world for what it truly is. A security guard burst into the room. He saw the bodies of the children then fixed his eyes on me, then quickly drew his gun.
Put the blade down, and put your hands on your head, you freak.
I burst out into a fit of laughter as he kept his gun trained on me. What are you gonna do? Shoot me, kill me, blow my motherfucking head off? You can't kill what I am.
Drop it or I'll drop you.
I stood there smiling. You won't stop me. You'll never stop me. Without warning, I pulled my revolver from my lab coat, put the barrel of it in my mouth. With a smile and a muffled laugh, I pulled the trigger, blew a hole in the back of my skull. How I died. But you can't kill what I am. I'm a whole new kind of monster. Thereafter, patients spoke of a strange man roaming the halls at night. Faint but disturbing laughter echoing from what seemingly nowhere. It wasn't long till the murder started. Gruesome mutilations, patients being dissected and slaughtered, messages on the walls, written in their blood. I did this for them. You're welcome. The hospital lies abandoned now. Its patients and physicians gone. Except for one. There's tales and urban legends now of a doctor in a blood red coat and black medical mask, walking the halls of the abandoned hospital. And if you journey into the hospital at night, he will find you. But do not fear. He won't kill you. On the contrary, he will take you through the halls of his hospital, touring you through the rooms and telling you all about the truths that he has discovered. either see the world as he does, or you will go mad and take your own life. This is my origin. This is the origin of Dr. Blood.